bulk purchasing. While operating expense is also decreasing since the first year is the time when we have a very comprehensive marketing plan. And also, as you can see, the income is increasing. So, the income is increasing from 13% to 26%. So, if you will compare it to the income tax, which has only 2% in the 5th year, since the provisions of the BOI that companies which is really purely involved in exporting will have 4th year tax holiday, while we will only have 3% of gross profit because we are located in the peso zone. For the horizontal analysis is simply finding the key factors that affect the profitability of the company. So as you can see, what is the key factor that affects the net income? It's really the operating income, which really decreases the sales, while it is mainly affected by the net income after tax. So as you can see here, there is a huge growth in 2012 to 2013 since 2012 we incurred a lot of losses due to operating expenses, while it increases through the year because the demand is increasing and the sales is increasing. For the balance sheet is simply state the separate assets of the company as compared to total assets. So as you can see, the current assets, it's more than the non-current assets since current assets composed of bulk of purchases. While in non-current assets, even though it's small, it's still increasing because of the investment securities, which is inflicted due to free cash flows. For the total liabilities and shareholders' equity, as you can see, this is the basis to find out if the company is focused on debt or equity financing. As you can see, we have lower liabilities than equity. So it simply means that we focus on equity financing rather than debt financing, which will make the company bankrupt. Based on horizontal analysis, current assets are increasing and non-current assets is increasing massively since we are investing too much for investment securities, while here we are increasing the total number of purchases. As same as the total liabilities, since total liabilities which is mainly derived by purchases. For shareholder equity, it is derived by the retained earnings, which is derived through our net income. For our cash flow, we will just find out what are the major drivers for cash inflow and outflow. For our cash inflow, the major driver is the sales, of course. The cash sales, and it adds up with the interest from the securities investment. While for the cash outflow, we have for the pre-op, of course, for the machineries, we have 91% for investing activities, while it decreases through the year because within this year we're only investing in securities. While in operating activities, of course, there are few operating activities in the pre-op, while in the future years it will be increased because operating activities will include marketing and other activities in exporting. So now, given that the bottom line of the company, that we consider profits, but the company also considers the bottom line for the company.
So as was Dan said, as a company, it is important for us to have consideration not just to manufacture and sell our product, but also to find ways on how can we help our country. So how do we do that? First, as an exporter, we remit dollars that we earn, which can help to stabilize our Philippine peso. Then, through our acquisition of materials, we can contribute 20.6% growth to the other related industries such as pulp industry, paper industry, and etc. And also, it is explained that our company is strictly complying with proper waste disposal, and we even allocate funds for that. And lastly, for other benefits, we promote environment protection, provide job for Filipinos, and let other countries know about their skills, particularly in Australia. So, to sum up the presentation and see what our company has achieved, we now proceed to findings and conclusions. First, for marketing, 1.22% of our estimated potential users became loyal customers after purchasing our product. And then for production, an average growth of 17.55% for production volume has been achieved, while 92% for capacity utilization. And lastly, for financial, we can recoup our investment after 2.96 years with an internal rate of return of 38.58% and profitability ratio of 22%. Now, let's proceed to what-if scenario.
So, what if the company experienced the worst case and the best case scenario? So, we cannot predict the future of the company. So that we predict the two scenarios. So, in the worst case scenario, as we can see, we have less customers who will be aware, which inflicts a lower market share. While in the best case scenario, we will have more customers who will be aware, which will inflict the market share to increase. So, the net income, since we have lesser sale, in the worst case scenario, we will have a net loss in the first year while it's still recovering slowly in the future years. While in the best case scenario, we will have a good start for the income and it increases throughout the year. For investment securities was derived through comparing free cash flow and the initial working capital for 3 months or for 6 months for the first year. So we will have up to 20 million for normal case in 5 years, while only 6 million in the worst, and up to 50 million in the best case scenario. In the payback period, we only have almost 2 years for the best case scenarios, while 3 years for the normal case, and almost 7 years in the worst case scenario. For the profitability index, which the acceptable percent is 100%, the normal case has 191%, usually acceptable, and of course, the best case has 317%, while the worst case scenario only has 78%. For the internal rate of return, 38% accounts for the normal, double it for the best case scenario, and only 6.33 for the worst case scenario. For how long did how much assets the company has to recover its liabilities? So for the three scenarios, the short-term assets of the company can recover its liabilities, short-term liabilities. For return assets, of course, best case scenario will have more return assets, while worst case scenario will have less since we have only uses with a scenario. For inventory turnover, how much the company for the product to be sold and turnover. For the best case, we have at least 14 times the turnover. While in the worst case, we have 12, although all of these situations will have a good feedback for the company. For average net equity ratio, so simply means how debt finance our company. So for debt financing, it's just a very low amount for the these three scenarios. Stockholders' equity will be based on project cost. So the higher the project cost, the higher the company. For the margin of safety, so how much sales can the company drop before it reaches the break-even point? Of course, for the worst case scenario, it's only 38%, so it's average of 38%, so the company is in danger in the worst case scenario. While in the normal and best, you still have 81 to 94% of sales to drop before it reaches the break-even point. So now, I hope that you are now convinced that we have
cohesive organizational competency, strong product market fit,
qualitative production process,
realistic demand and sales,
sustainable financial returns,
and significant contribution to the country. you for listening.